Welcome back to Sports Opinion. It's the weekly sports talk show on Channel 18, Public Access TV. My name's Dirk Keller, Bob Boyd,
Hello.
Bud Supple, Earl Murphy. We're here to talk about a homecoming victory that was really a much needed tonic.
Why don't we talk about the basketball coach, women's basketball coach?
Lisa Bluter?
Yes.
We had her as a special guest last week.
And I
thought
she was excellent. Really good.
Yeah. Lisa always does a good job.
We're very fortunate to have her and want to thank Pat White
Pat
once
White.
again for getting her here, literally driving her here and making arrangements ahead of time so that she could be our guest at a very busy time of year for her. She just started basketball practice on Monday. And
she's on top of everything.
She talks and talks and talks.
Yeah.
But
It's interesting to hear about all of her players, including the new players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you brought up one thing that, I think Iowa fans forget sometimes is they just completed last year their fifth 20-game winning season in a row.
Yeah.
That's tough to do.
It really is. She's real close to having the all-time winning mark at Iowa. She's got maybe 1.5 seasons to go
Yeah,
before she breaks that mark, held by Vivian Stringer.
that will
And she
happen.
keeps up with her.
Yeah, they're friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's important.
It really is. I think it's
Right.
important to Iowa.
I do too.
And, the other thing, too, we mentioned, and I think we only touched on it briefly, but Lisa Bluter is the dean of Big Ten women's basketball coaches.
But we got the men and women both.
Yeah.
Football and basketball.
Yeah.
Both of those are a little hard to believe, aren't they, when
Yes.
you really stop to think about it. But it's a fact, and, it looks like they're solidified, both of them in here for several years, I'd say.
Time is fleeting.
Yes,
Yeah.
we remember only too well when they were hired. Seems like yesterday.
Well, I saw something last night where Kirk Ferentz is, number 5 in the nation in longevity at his school.
Isn't that something?
Mac Brown is just ahead of him at Texas.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who the coach at West Virginia, or is it Virginia Tech?
West Virginia coach has been there
Yeah.
for a long time.
The guy with the thing on his face.
He's not longer than Mac Brown, huh? He's like
He is longer than Mac Brown.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah, I
he's
think
like-
he's the
he's-
longest.
he's like 20 plus years.
What's his name?
Oh, gee.
I can see him on
I can
the
see
field
him
down
too.
there. It's on the clipboard.
I don't pay attention
Yeah.
to those Eastern coaches.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, so you got West Virginia, Texas, and who else?
There's a small school somewhere I'd never heard of, and he'd been there longer than Kirk.
Okay. Is it a D1 school?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Help me out on this. Kurt is going to be on some TV show.
Tonight, at the same time this program is airing on the NFL Network, they are running the premiere of a documentary they did on the last year of the original Cleveland Browns, which I believe was the 94...
94 team.
Yeah. And Kirk was on that staff with head coach Bill Belichick,
They moved.
who went on from there to the New England Patriots.
Right.
And
It might have been the 95 team, because I think
Yeah.
94, a great year. 95, they predicted go to the Super Bowl, and they didn't.
Well,
But didn't that owner announce in the
Yes.
middle of that year that they were going to go to Baltimore or
they were
something?
They were number 1 in the league record-wise,
Okay.
and in the middle of the season,
Right.
the owner Art Modell announced that he's moving the team to Baltimore. They lost 6 games in a row, and then won their final game at home in the old stadium. And of course, those Cleveland fans are rabid fans. Some of the best football back in the day with Coach Paul Brown and running back Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Now, did Kurt go with him to Baltimore?
Kirk did.
Okay.
Kirk was in Cleveland for that last year,
Okay.
and then
That was
went
Bill
to Baltimore.
Belichick, by the way,
That's right.
was the head coach.
I don't get the NFL, so I won't get it.
No, most people don't.
Yeah.
Most people don't. But it'll be running. It'll be out there. Eventually, it'll be on YouTube and other things, and you'll be able to watch it. But an hour-long documentary on the final season in Cleveland, and also what all these coaches under Bill Belichick went on to achieve, including himself,
Yeah.
Yeah.
including Kirk.
Right.
So it'll be something to look for.
And then he stayed at Baltimore for what, 5 years, 6 years?
95, 96, 4 years.
4 years.
I think 4 years. He might have got there in 94. I'm not sure. He went there
No, the first would have been 96, I think.
95.
No, for Baltimore.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Kirk stayed there until he took the head job at Iowa
Right.
in 99.
Okay.
And before that, before he went to Cleveland, he was the head coach for the Maine Bears.
Right.
Left here as offensive line coach to
We
take the
played-
head job at
You
Maine.
played him,
Yeah,
remember?
I do.
They
The
come-
Black Bears. Opening day, if I'm not mistaken.
But they're barely visible
Yeah.
on the Division I scene now, or haven't been. have they?
Speaking of playing, did you see what Northern Illinois did to Central Michigan?
What was the score?
55-21?
Pretty embarrassing, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
Well, I think though we have to look at the positive side of that as well, because
Oh, I do,
think
too. We
I
beat
think we
them.
beat a pretty good Northern Illinois team.
I agree.
First game of the season, we're going to see that when their record continues to. Well, hey, that's their only loss in what, their last 13
Right.
games or something.
Really?
That made me feel good. I feel that we played too good.
But Central Michigan, we should have won. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the only bad one we and
Well,
you know.
that's a funny football game.
That's right.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
It was funny in a whole lot of unfunny ways.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, kind of flukish the way it turned out.
The officiating crew, I think, set the tone
terrible.
for the whole
Yeah.
game.
yeah.
Ooh,
They
they were terrible.
They let Central Michigan get away with murder, late hits, a lot of
Well, the one that
instigating.
was obvious is how they held our players down on the ground.
Yes,
When the whistle blew, they didn't get up right.
Right.
Yeah, but
Good
the whole-
officiating crew cuts that out.
That's right.
The whole ironic part of that, though, was they kick the onside, we recover.
Doesn't matter.
They have a penalty. We can't refuse it because it happened before the snap.
Mhm.
And a fluke that it was even kicked a second
Yeah.
time. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, and there it is. And we know what happened
I
after
don't like that rule. There's a lot of talk about
I like it a lot
that.
less now.
But it does make sense that we should be able to refuse it.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right.
agreed.
Ted thinks that they'll change that rule within a year or two because it's happened to several colleges.
Too late for this game.
That's
I know,
right.
but
It's past
something
tense.
that they
Well,
ought to look
Well, they
at.
have a high school. Do they have that rule in high school?
No. But that's where he gets the most flack.
Okay.
Because it's a judgment call. Did you throw the flag before the shift of ball? They can get in a lot of trouble with it. Now, if the ball would have been shifted, then we can,
What do you mean if the ball would have been shifted?
for the punter,
The punter.
for the onside kicker.
What do you mean shifted? I don't get it.
Well, back to whoever going to punt the ball. See, what they're saying is that ball was not shifted yet, and the flag was thrown.
I thought it was delay of game. Too much time. The play clock ran out.
Well, they did,
Okay.
but you can't deny it if the guy doesn't kick it.
But he you have
Dead
to,
ball foul.
That's
Yeah.
what it is, a dead ball
Dead
foul.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you have to.
5 yards, replay the
Regardless.
play.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to replay it, and
That's
that's not fair. Because really what you're saying, forget the penalty.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I thought the Hawkeyes bounced back magnificently
too.
in the Big Ten opener
Right.
with Minnesota here in town.
I did too.
I just couldn't believe that we were up 24-0
Yes.
at the end of the first half.
Could have been 31.
It should have been
Right,
a little
right,
more.
right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure that we would have been as focused that first half against Minnesota if we had lost that Central Michigan game the way we did. And we all heard the criticism on the internet and local radio shows and all of that. And
they were
the
well-
players and coaches heard that stuff too. They say they
That's
don't
right.
pay any attention. Baloney. They hear
Oh,
it.
yeah, I know that.
Especially the players, I think. You know.
Well, and the coaches
So,
do too.
yeah.
They just-
Well, after the Central Michigan game, they deserved to hear it.
They did. Absolutely.
Fair or not.
Well, some of it. I
Right.
don't like this stuff right away. Fire the coach.
Well, no, that's ridiculous.
But
You know,
what my point is, they deserve to hear it because that goes with the
Yeah.
territory. I'm not saying it's right. I mean, it's not. But they're going to, and that's part of their position. It's
Yeah.
when Coach Ferentz gets paid almost $4 million, when all the other coaches are making a lot of money, there are expectations. And
And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. And to play the game they did
You
against
know,
Central
Kurt,
Michigan
you
is
said
not.
He's making a lot of money. Look at the money he's making for the university. Look at the money he's making.
Yeah.
Sure.
How else would you have it? You better get in somebody that's making a lot. Look at Iowa State's getting something because they went and got a coach and they start paying him.
Yeah.
McCarney didn't get that kind of money.
He didn't get that support either. Well, the Minnesota game started out wonderfully. And, you know, Minnesota was moving the ball against the Hawkeye defense in that first half.
Yeah.
They weren't coming up with scores.
No.
Well, that was
Iowa.
a big play that our safety from
Interception?
Mid Prairie that
Tanner Miller.
Tanner Miller, that was because they were marching.
Oh, they were.
And that was a big bomb, a 30-yard play. And
At least.
he fought the ball away from him, and that kind of turned the momentum. Right there. I mean,
Very much so.
What a beautiful Statue of Liberty play.
The flea flicker.
Flea flicker.
Yeah. Not a Statue of Liberty.
No,
flea
a
flicker.
Free flicker.
Yeah.
Flea
What a-
flicker is when the running back is handed the ball by the quarterback, runs to the center of the line, and then scrunches down low and laterals the ball back to the quarterback. And in this case, we had Jordan Cotton,
Yeah.
son of former Hawkeye Marshall Cotton, running down the middle of the field, wide open. And it seemed like that ball hung up in the air forever.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
That night, and I don't know what game I was watching, had a play just like it, and the guy dropped the ball.
Oh, did he?
Well, you know what? You're that wide open, it's almost scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, is
You
that-
know, it's like,
For the
oh, no.
receiver and the quarterback.
Yeah.
I better make this on target.
That's exactly. People later in the game, they kind of criticized Winky for maybe not throwing to that wide open gunner out there when he was punting. Well, that wasn't the play call, obviously.
Yeah.
But
But he's the man to do it. He's a
well, he
quarterback.
is. But that might be in their repertoire in the future. But that's sometimes the hardest play to make
Yep.
when they're that wide open.
Well,
So-
I read after the game that Kirk Ferentz said he hasn't called that play in 10 years. And he named the game. I don't remember what, but it was 2002.
Really?
I thought,
No, you
wow.
wouldn't want to play that. You wouldn't want to play. Someone said, why don't they play that more often?
I think they should play that the first play.
Yeah. No, but they do a lot of times. That's right.
Well, and the Hawks came out first play of the game. First.
Oh, yeah.
They went after it right away.
Right
Big
away. That
pass
was
play.
good to see.
And again, the story of the game, though, is Mark Weissman.
Yeah.
He is just phenomenal. I will remind the viewers that Mark Weissman is still a sophomore walk-on. He's paying his own way, out-of-state tuition, mind you, which is horrendously high.
Until January.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah. But he's been doing it for a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's made great sacrifices
Yeah.
to be a Hawkeye, and nobody'd heard of him. Nobody gave him any consideration, even after all the injuries.
I would recruit him.
Yes.
Yes.
Out of high school?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, it was between the Air
And he
Force.
chose Air Force.
Yes.
He picked the Air Force over his.
He was loyal to the coach.
That's right.
Obviously, he'd rather run than march.
Yeah, no kidding.
But see, that's another thing, I don't like to criticize coaches. What if all these running backs that we had didn't get hurt? He may be still sitting on the bench.
That's right. But if
Well,
we
he'd still be starting fullback because he beat out Brad Rogers.
That's
that
right.
right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
The first game.
Oh,
Which
okay.
I think surprised everybody because
Yeah,
that's
I didn't
kind of what
realize
started
that.
everybody saying, who is this guy?
Yeah.
This is before he carried the ball.
Yeah.
And, Brad Rogers does a very good job as a blocking fullback. And so Wiseman obviously got their attention early.
Did you guys see the one where he straight armed that one player? That was the most beautiful play that
I thought we saw something new out of Mark Weissman too. In the previous games, he was lowering the shoulder pads and just basically running people over, running into them, knocking them back. In this game, he showed some pretty deft footwork.
Yeah.
He still was straight arming and using his hands. He's a throwback running back.
He's got great balance.
Good, exactly. He's using his hands for balance,
Yeah.
which is, I think, a lost art for him with today's running backs, whether it's high school, college, or NFL.
But that's probably the working with him once they found out this is going to be our tailback for a few weeks for sure, or more than that. And, fullback's going to have a straight-ahead, plow horse running style, and now he's got to spot the holes
Yeah.
And he
and
does.
cut back. And
He spots them all.
as a tailback, it's a different running style.
He's got a nickname. He's got several nicknames.
Yeah.
But one of them is the Jewish jackhammer. and I said I did.
Is he Jewish?
Well, that's what I asked. I said, "Is he Jewish?" And they said, "Yes, he is." In fact,
Oh, okay.
I think we all know Rabbi Portman from
Yeah.
Agudas Hakim. I guess Mark Weissman goes to services regularly,
Not
and
on Saturday.
well, no, but you don't know. He might go after the game. I'm told that he
Oh,
does
okay.
go on a regular basis, and that not only does Rabbi Portman incorporate him into his, I don't know if they call them sermons, but he incorporates him and his success. But the temple congregation have embraced him. They love him. They have held him up. And I just think it's a wonderful thing that they've got this to hang on to,
Yeah.
and that he has embraced them. They have embraced him. And
Well, the
Well,
players,
that's the Iowa City community right there.
you bet.
players park
You bet.
back in that parking lot where the motorhomes
Yep, yep.
used to be.
Yeah.
And he come back the Northern Iowa game walking through there. And he comes right up to our tailgate. Here's a kid wants his autographed. I don't know if his dad said there he is. So he stood there and gave autographs for about 50. Then he come around and introduced him to all of us.
Isn't that
I
something?
mean, we were just lucky that. But they all walk back there. They keep their mopeds and everything back there.
Yeah.
They must pick them up there on Friday nights or wherever they go. But
Once again, we got to thoroughly enjoy his running style, which I do. Buffalo.
Yeah.
I think he runs like a buffalo and
You know,
just
one thing
knocks
that
people over.
amazed me is how many times he carried the ball.
Yeah.
that's
And,
right.
and I thought he carried about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
20 sometimes, wasn't it?
That's right.
He
That's
had
27.
177 yards on 21 carries,
21.
which is
That
an
was a-
average of 8.4 yards per carry.
He would have had another 30 if we had had a penalty.
And he would have had another touchdown.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that was a touch. I was
I
on
do
the
too.
sidelines, and I think that was a touch.
It was a really tacky hole on, I think, who was it?
No, but the one time he
No.
went in, they didn't give him the touchdown.
Oh, that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Tobin?
Yeah.
I think it was Tobin.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, though? That's another thing. You talk about holding. Let's talk about what a great job that offensive line
Oh,
is
yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they are really blocking well.
Anywhere Mark Weissman wants to go, especially to the left side,
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
they're just opening
Right.
cavernous holes for him.
We'll get a challenge in the
But I
next
love
game.
the way
Oh, yeah.
they yelled for him. They really.
Well,
Those fans got
Oh,
up
yeah.
and stand anytime he'd get the ball.
There are now T-shirts for sale that say Weissman for Heisman.
That's
And
what
it's
you were
spelled-
spouting last week, weren't
Yeah,
you?
I was. Oh, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Weissman rhymes with Heisman.
Well, they were saying that even when he was playing the first game.
Yeah.
He got,
I read something last night about him. One of his high school teammates wrote a blog somewhere about him and just talked how much harder he worked in high school than anybody else. After practice is over, he
Yeah.
was running the hills. And guys, you remember,
Wow.
football practice is grueling. They wear you out on purpose. And after that, he's running the hills by himself.
For you know, one of the reasons why he left, the way they made, the way he had to make his
Oh,
pay.
yeah,
yeah.
And
Well, he was in the
there's a
Air
story
Force.
somewhere. I don't know where
that's
I read it.
Well,
yeah, that's the paper.
when you're in the Air Force and you're a plebe, brand new, they instruct you how to make your bed.
Well,
And
it's
they-
kind of like being in a fraternity and being a pledge. They make you do a lot of stupid
Yeah.
stuff.
That's right.
And they'd tear his bed up every morning, throw it around, toss it out the room.
Who would?
The
The Air Force
the
Academy.
Air Force.
I wouldn't have-
Army, the Navy, they're all the same way. They're trying to teach you.
After 2
discipline
weeks,
and-
he said, "That's it. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put up with this."
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad because it's just making life to our football program, guys.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's going to stop him.
Who scored the most touchdowns for Iowa?
on Saturday.
No, on the whole season.
It's got to be
Ooh.
Weissman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So far, you mean?
yeah.
No,
No, you're talking about a career, Murph?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
career
I don't know.
touchdowns.
It might have been. What about Sean Green in that last season that he had?
Well, I don't know.
That's a good
He
guess.
had the yardage, and he had. I think he might have had touchdown record, not for, I'm talking about the quarterback,
He's got
but I'm talking
7
about
already.
running back.
Who does? Weissman?
Weissman.
Yeah.
That's amazing. He's really played, he's started at running back in 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
But
He got
that,
7 touchdowns.
7 touchdowns.
that game against Georgia Tech, Green took that ball. Those guys didn't know
Yeah.
how to defend. He ran and ran and ran and ran.
Weissman, in his season so far, has 519 total yards on 74 carries.
That's in 3 games.
Yes. 519 yards rushing, 74 carries. It is, let's see, they are the most yards by a Hawkeye in the first 5 games of a season since Sean Green had 665 yards in 2008.
How many touchdowns?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
Well, also, if that one penalty hadn't happened, he'd have gone over 200 yards
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
Minnesota. One thing I didn't realize is no Hawkeye running back has ever had back-to-back 200-yard rushing
He
game.
deserved it that game.
And he would have had it, obviously, if they hadn't had that.
I was hoping that they'd leave him in there.
Well,
I noticed that in the fourth quarter, we were substituting 4 defensive linemen at a time. It was 4 to go in and 4 to go out.
Right,
4 to go in, 4 to go out.
I like to see that, though, Murph. They give
Oh,
those
yeah.
kids experience, and you don't leads very often when you can do that.
Yeah, but the 4 don't get tired.
Yeah.
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 And they're going full bore.
Right.
now,
See, that's what Marv Cook does.
I'm going to probably upset Earl when I say this.
Yes.
But I did not like that second half at all.
Oh, I agree.
Jeez, I was just going stir crazy.
Hey, 46 yards total offense, second half.
Yes.
That's pretty bad.
Yes. No.
I
agree with
was
you.
really getting frustrated. I thought, here we go again. It's like the Central Michigan game from a coaching standpoint, from a player standpoint, from special teams, from fifth-year seniors. I just saw a lot of things, having to call timeouts again. Vandenberg, the quarterback, throwing the ball into the ground again and throwing short routes that didn't get the first down on 3rd and long. And
Well, that's what happens when you get a big lead. You lose your focus. That's what happened the second half.
Well, and then, Kurt style is he doesn't keep pounding.
I didn't like it.
I don't think he's that type of coach.
I think they were trying. What I'm told and what I read is that they were in the second half trying to set up the passing game. Mm-hmm. They've been doing that in the first half by running so much and then hitting the big pass play. Mm-hmm. And Vandenberg just wasn't on target in the second half as much as he had been in the first half.
When they throw pass, I mean the free flicker.
That was first half, second quarter.
Yeah.
They were going towards the south end zone.
We were ahead
I know.
10-0 when that happened. That
I know
put us
which way
up
they're going.
17.
I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
What a perfect time to call that play.
Yeah, you and 70,000 other people,
Yeah.
Everybody was so
including the Minnesota
happy.
fans.
You're going, how could he be that wide open, right?
Yeah.
Well, now, I want to get your guys' opinion.
Yeah.
You all go to the game. There's about college football these days and NFL where if you're at the game, it seems to take forever. There are so many TV timeouts.
Yes.
And so many coaches timeouts, so many reviews of plays.
Yeah.
There's no momentum in the game anymore. There
No,
just
I agree
isn't.
with you. I don't like that.
It frustrates me.
You see that guy in the red cap out down there?
Oh, yeah, I just want to take him out. I've said several times, where's Lee Harvey Oswald when we need him? Red cap is down there, and he just stays on the field.
Yes.
If you don't know, if you're at a live game, there's a gentleman who wears a red cap who sits along the south end of the Iowa sideline. And his job is to let the head official know when the TV commercials are over. And he stands on the field.
He's the boss.
Yeah.
He is
Nothing
the boss.
moves until he says, roll. And
That's the TV.
it's TV timeouts. I just think
And-
we've sold our
and you-
soul.
Yeah. Well, quite a check they pay every month.
It is, but
that's-
Yeah, I think
geez.
You're going to want that money. You're going to have to put up with that stuff.
That's right.
Well,
I can't remember now. I listened to Dolphin and Pogolai. It was Northern Illinois, or Northern Iowa rather, or Central Michigan. And Dolphin on the radio really got on the Big Ten network was doing that game. and they must sit next to him or fairly close, and there must have been some communication problems, and he was pretty much criticizing how much time taking and how disorganized they seemed to be, the officiating crew and the Big Ten people up in the box, up the press box, and I noticed that this week he apologized for
Dolphin
being
did?
critical of the Big Ten Network and how great it is to have them on board and how important they are to the Big Ten and
Blah, blah,
University of Iowa, and he was just, he got a phone call, let's put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was reacting to that, and I'm saying, you know what, Gary, you were telling it like it is. But he, obviously got reprimanded. It was very obvious on the radio.
I just wish we could have fewer timeouts and let the game flow a little bit. Same thing happens in college basketball.
Yeah.
There are so many timeouts. If you attend every game like I do, and it's the same with women, they have the same amount of commercial breaks at the same time. They take a break
You
in
can't do
basketball
anything
every
about
4
it.
minutes.
Every 4 minutes.
You can't do a thing about it.
And one thing about it, we're getting women's basketball. Getting
You
all
mean,
the sports. Now, I don't like it, but the red hat, what makes me mad, and you watch this, there'll be a minute to go yet, and they'll send our team out there,
And then you stand there.
and they stand there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They want it ready to go as soon as the red hat guy says go.
Well,
So
he didn't
wants them
say
out
go.
there.
He stands there for another
Yeah.
minute. Now watch
Yeah.
that.
I've noticed. And it drives me
And
nuts.
Minnesota wouldn't come out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think lost the pure art form of collegiate athletics because of TV commercials. You go to a high school game or a small college game like a Cornell, what have you, and it's the purest form of the game. And we talked about that a little bit with Lisa. And I just feel strongly about that. When you go to a high school game, basketball, football, boys or girls, doesn't matter, you see the purest form game.
Yeah, you think that I call it cheating on timeouts. They take so long, and I think they go over their limit
Oh,
once
I
in a while.
do too.
Well,
I do
When you
too.
have all these reviews of these plays, and what amazes me about, obviously I can't see them, but what I hear is plentiful. And how do you get it wrong the second time?
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have you guys review where it's on the big screen,
Bob, do you
on
think all
TV?
reviews are correct? I don't.
Well, he can't tell.
I know. I said, but do you think they're all?
No, I don't.
I don't. I don't think they're right.
But it has to stand.
You've got the human
for
element.
example, Murph,
Yeah.
everyone in the nation knows that Green Bay Packer game wasn't.
Well, there you go. How do you review it and still get it wrong? That's my
right.
point.
That's what I'm
That's right.
talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Human
it
element.
happens all the time.
Oh,
I mean, it
think
might
so.
happen at
And
least
that-
half the time.
That one was a touchdown.
In Green Bay or Iowa?
No, in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he went over,
Yeah.
and he wasn't even near that line.
Yep.
Well,
I think, too.
But as long as you want money, you're going to have to put up with
you're
it.
right.
The pros are worse than the colleges.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
TV dictates
They're-
all that now.
Give the coaches fewer timeouts to call. If you're going to have all these commercial timeouts,
The thing was settled. That's right for the.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all settled.
salaries for the
Oh, the NFL
refs.
officials, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But that game,
That wasn't.
Saturday or Sunday night.
Monday night,
Yeah.
I believe.
But I mean, I'm talking about another game.
Oh,
Sunday night, I'm watching the game, and I want to watch 60 Minutes. And I told Carol, oh, we got plenty of time. 20 minutes to 6. 3 minutes to go, it went to 20 after 6 because there was time out.
Wow.
My God.
Oh, it was terrible.
there's an
Yeah.
element of the game of football that's gone now from big time college football, and that is simply the ability to endure. Endurance. Teams that are fitter than the others can persevere and get over. You don't have that anymore with all these timeouts.
And they bring up a guy if he's hot in basketball, for example. Say he's hit 6 in a row, and they start that game 5 minutes later, and he cools off.
There's no flow,
Yeah.
no momentum.
When you're on a roll, you want to stay
That's
on the
right.
roll, and you want to
That's
stay
right.
on the
That's
field or
right.
on the court.
And the fans want to see
And the
that.
whole
Oh,
team.
absolutely, yeah.
The whole team's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just don't get that. You get it in high school.
Well, think about it, for example, when it's hot in September in football, for example, and you got somebody doing a hurry-up offense,
Yeah.
and you're wearing out that defense, and then all of a sudden, TV time.
time.
You know,
Yeah.
that momentum can just, like you said, the momentum can go away like that.
In that, I think it was the Iowa State game, might have been the UNI game. I counted. It was in the first. It was between the end of the first quarter, start of the second quarter. And Iowa had just scored, it must have been UNI, because Iowa had scored a touchdown. And before the extra point could be kicked, there was a 5-minute TV timeout. They came back, kicked the extra point, and it was the end of the quarter. We had another 5-minute TV timeout. 10 minutes with an extra point in between. Yeah. That's not football. That's not competition. These guys, I mean,
that's commercial income. Is what it is, right there.
And I make my living from commercials.
Yes, that's right.
But I find it really objectionable.
I know, but there's nothing you're going to do. I mean, we might as well.
You need to be calling the Big Ten Network.
And the people all moving. Oh.
You can sell fewer ads for more money, and they do groan. You're right.
Well,
yeah, you can hear it.
Start moving the guy on the right already.
Yeah.
One of the best things on is in the spring and April. That's the Masters Golf Tournament.
No commercials.
Where money doesn't drive the wagon. You know, no commercials. They have one an hour.
That's I know.
One an hour. They have one, like, I don't know, it's IBM and like Cadillac. Two sponsors and a commercial an hour, and you get to watch golf.
People in Britain can't imagine that we watch TV the way we do because of all the commercial breaks. They don't have that. They have blocks of commercials in between programs. Kind of like you're talking about with the Masters, Bob.
Yeah.
What do they have?
That's when you go to the bathroom or go to the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Coaches, assistant coaches, and athletes getting paid what they're getting paid nowadays.
Oh, I think soccer
We need
stars
the
over
money.
there get paid big time.
We need the money.
That's right, we do.
We didn't need it. I mean, there's just no question about it.
Well, how many Division I programs do you think are really in the black? And the only reason they are is because of TV money.
I saw something on this.
I'll bet you 25, 30% maybe.
I was going to say,
Maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be a good number to find out.
Well, if you don't fill that stadium, you're not going to be on TV.
No.
Which makes me wonder about Northern Iowa, thinking about going Division I.
Right.
They'd have to build a new
First
stadium.
of all, yeah, they'd have to build
Coach
a new
Bluter
stadium.
didn't think it would work.
I don't think so either.
And you
talked
have to
about
build
that.
a new stadium because you have to have a stadium that has at least 25,000 people.
Yeah.
Or 50.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, under their rules, it's
Yeah.
25,000.
Oh, is that where the
Yeah, that's where
Okay.
There's
you have to have 25 minimum?
a school down in Texas that has 28,000.
Is that North Texas where Dan McCarney went?
I don't know, but I think it's Texas Christian or something.
Oh, it might be TCU.
Could be.
Yeah.
The Horned Frogs.
Yeah. What
Wow.
size stadium do they have? Do you know? I think it's about 28,000.
20.
You know what? We might find out,
They use
Murph.
that for example when they were
That's
talking.
right.
That's
If
where
anyone
Iowa
out-
State plays this week.
Yeah, that's right.
They'll probably
Iowa State goes to
they
Texas
go to
Christian.
TCU, so they'll
Okay.
announce that attendance,
Yeah.
and that'll be a good barometer there.
Yeah.
And if anybody out there watching the show has an answer for the attendance levels at Texas Christian University, please call Bud Supple at home after midnight today.
Yes. You should give his number.
I'm able to slip that in every show, no matter
Well, he's got
what.
all the answers.
Yeah. Well, you know what? He won't answer. Just so you're not even going to get even with Bud.
Hey, we didn't talk about the tight ends, the other players on the Hawkeyes besides Mark Weissman.
Yes.
C.J. Fedorowicz had 2 receptions for 50 yards, which were, one was a 45-yarder.
And the interception was a beautiful interception.
Yeah, Christian Kirksey.
Yeah,
He
that's
had
right.
5 tackles and recovered a fumble.
Yes.
And returned an interception for 68 yards, which
caught the
sealed the
ball.
game.
Yes.
Right.
That was huge.
The highlight of the second half.
It was
actually.
scary.
Yeah, you breathe.
It was scary. That second half was scary.
Yeah.
It really was.
They were,
Well, yeah.
they were playing the same play Central Michigan did.
Yeah.
Throwing to that one guy
Yeah.
every time.
It was really wearing on me. I didn't know this, but that interception return for a touchdown that Christian Kirksey had was the 3rd longest interception return for a touchdown in school history. I don't know who the other
It
2
was?
were. Yeah, 3rd longest pick six
Oh,
in
man.
school history.
Murph might remember this. Who was the defensive lineman played in the 60s against Purdue, I think, Murph. Somebody returned one of those names from the past. It's bothering me now. I think that might have been one of those.
Dayton Perry?
Yes. Yes. Remember that?
Very good.
How about that?
I remember the name.
Yeah,
I wonder how long that was. That was a pretty big
about
one.
60 yards, I think.
Okay.
That's got to be right up there.
I'm not going to argue with Murph on history out there.
Ooh, no. I'm glad we talked about
What did
that
you get in
time
history?
management.
Bob, what did you do in history?
What I do in history, nothing. Went to history class.
That's what I mean.
That's about it.
I took 4 years of Latin under
Did you?
P.J. O'Reilly, Monsignor O'Reilly. Yeah.
I was a Spanish guy and can't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took one semester of Latin, and Father LeBreton kicked me out of the class for smarting off.
All the Latin I took was as an altar boy,
Yeah.
right there in the altar.
I
Yeah.
mean, I did a lot of room cleaning.
My grandma went to Morningside College and majored in Latin.
That's
Oh my gosh.
Think of that. She graduated
Wow.
in
I should have been with
1922.
her.
She should have moved to Italy.
Yeah.
Well, she could have gotten along.
I'll tell you, Latin, you had to keep up
It's a
with it.
difficult language.
Yeah, but I don't know anymore. I mean, it's passed me by.
Well, I
It's passed
find,
everybody by.
Yeah.
don't you find
Once they stopped the church for
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
what little Latin I took, and I did have to study it hard, I still find myself using what I learned in Latin,
That's right.
breaking down the root words.
That's right.
When I see a word in English, I'm not sure I understand. And I did this a lot more when I was in college and shortly after college when I was still learning. But I found that Latin really helped me break down the meaning of words I didn't. And it's, again, I only took it for, I think, a semester. And
go on. I can remember sitting at
Yeah.
the kitchen table with Mom and Dad getting hell all the time. Let's get off the subject.
okay, we ought to talk about some high school football.
Yeah.
We should talk high school football. It reminds you all that the Hawkeyes have a bye week this week. No game Saturday at all. Be a nice break after 4 straight home games. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
But, you know,
I don't think so.
even though we talk about Minnesota, I still claim them as our number one opponent.
Oh yeah, rival,
Oh, I do
number one
too.
rival,
Yeah.
absolutely, Earl.
And so-
Always will be.
Yes, and
they're gonna win a lot.
We beat them, and we beat them easily.
Yep.
And we
I-
got the pig.
Yeah, we got the pig, and we lost 2 in a row, but they were up there, and
Yeah.
one was in a snowstorm, wasn't it?
Yeah, or after a blizzard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
And so we got a right to talk about it,
and we've beaten them 6 out of the last 9 times.
that's right.
Yeah. So they
Boy, those last 2 we lost to, and we shouldn't have lost.
bitter.
Oh.
Bitter.
Last year was
Ugly.
the worst, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't think many Hawkeye fans felt confident going into this game last Saturday.
I think we felt more confident last Saturday going into that game than that's more because if you talk to Bud Supple or talk to that quarterback 9, what was his name? Randy Duncan.
Oh, Randy Duncan?
I see him every game, and he said we're going to sneak one in. You know, he said this is it. So
They didn't sneak one in. They busted down the door and took names and
that's
kicked butt.
I felt we would come back and win, but I really did think it would be a close game.
that's right.
I thought it'd be a close
Yeah,
game.
I did, but it shows what our coaching staff
That's
did.
right.
Yep. They got up for that game.
Oh.
And, you know, that's not a bad Minnesota team. I don't know about you guys. I talked to a group of Minnesota fans, true Gopher college football fans who were at the game, met them afterwards that night out at dinner, and they don't seem to have the same level of confidence in their team that we do in their team. I thought, you know, this is a much improved Minnesota team, best team of Gophers that we've seen in a long time. And they didn't look like it. Their quarterback, of course, they're missing Marquise Gray.
See, that was huge. If he'd have played,
Yeah.
it could have been a different ball.
But this guy they had in place had done
Yeah, he
very
Throw the
well.
ball, yeah, yeah.
Very
I watched
well.
him play a couple other games, and he's doing good.
Yeah, he didn't do very well against the Hawks. He had open
No,
receivers and
but,
didn't hit them.
Guys, he had 3
Our
interceptions.
The most improved thing on that ball game, as far as I'm concerned, was the defense.
That's right.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep.
We could have scored. I mean, look at the points. You don't score 31 points and get beat normally.
That's right.
We did.
Yeah, I know.
the week before.
Yeah, I think defensive guys deserve a lot of credit because they played a tougher team.
Morgan's a good coach.
That's right.
Good point. Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
think we got to give credit to our running backs coach.
Lester Herb.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken a difficult situation and made it a lot better.
Yeah. Difficult's putting it
I think
mildly.
he was the guy that recruited him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They recruited Weissman. Yeah.
That's who we talk about
yeah.
the whole program.
Well, I can't talk enough about him. I love watching
I
Weissman
can't either. I
perform.
just feel Green's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, could we just stay healthy at tailback, please?
Yeah, and
For the rest of the season, I mean.
I wouldn't
And then
mind
I think we'll be all
well,
right.
he's the kind of guy that won't get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
And-
Tough.
And a lot of people have
That's
been
right,
criticizing
he's
Vandenberg, but I think, as the offensive coordinator says, he does a lot of things at the line of scrimmage we don't know about. You know what? But one of these games, Vandenberg's going to be hot. He hasn't been hot yet.
You know, Noisy Reichart was a lot like this Wiseman. He played for City High for 3 or 4 years.
Nosy?
Bill Reichart?
Noisy.
Noisy.
You
mean the clothier?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he ran just like this guy.
It's a thing of beauty. There just aren't many kids that are built that way. I don't mean necessarily
That's
physically, but built with the mentality that we're going to lower the pads and take you on, and that's old school football. And give you a little arm, give you a little foot fake.
It's wonderful. It came in the fifth game, or, third, fourth, fifth
Yep.
game. So
Eddie Pogolak says that he's always leaning forward.
Yes.
He's got that forward momentum.
Yes.
That, I guess that'd be more of a style than anything, but
It's a lost style. Kids aren't willing to make contact like that.
it's fullback mentality.
Pros who get tackled usually
Yeah.
get tackled in the end zone. He's always standing up.
Good
He
point.
gets right to that.
Good point.
Right.
I love how he runs off those slants, and that's the difference I see this year in the offensive style. We're running a lot more slants instead of hitting a hole straight on. Weissman is benefiting from the slants. I don't know if he's just not able to be seen over these big offensive linemen or what.
about
but
this,
wow, he hits that hole.
he makes 5 yards after he stumbles.
Yeah.
Or after he hits the first guy.
Yeah, or the second or third guy.
Or he'll carry 4 guys
Yeah.
along with him.
Don't you love it?
Yeah.
I just love it.
But again, guys, the holes have got to be there, and
They're making holes. They're making holes, and
Especially to the left.
the other
Yes.
thing, they're not giving up. They're not giving up the sacks like they did in the first. We gave up
Why
6
don't you
sacks.
get that fly?
I
Yeah, I probably had him. There, yes.
First game.
last
right.
fly
6
of the
sacks.
summer is here in the public
Yeah.
access TV studios. We're gonna
Driving
get
us
rid of him soon.
crazy.
We got a few minutes to talk about high school football,
All right.
and I think first you have to talk about West High School. They went up to Dubuque Hempstead and set school history with points scored.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see.
76.
72 points.
They went up there. They're 6-0 and ranked number 3 in the state. And
That's wrong
they won
there.
76-28.
Okay.
It was a school record for total points. They had exceptions returned for touchdowns, and they had 2 kickoff returns scored for touchdowns. And they never punted once in the
Wow.
entire game. And they had their whole second string in there in the second half. I'm sorry, they had their second string in the entire second half. That's what I meant to say. And they still didn't punt the ball.
They're on a roll.
They are.
Well,
It
they're
was the quarterback club.
Coach Sauser.
Yeah, no, the guy. This week, Monday.
The
They had-
West High grad,
Yeah.
whose name escapes me, who works for the NCAA.
Mathis is his last name.
That's right.
Used to work. Used to work. For
Used
the
to work
NCAA.
for the Yankees
Yeah.
for 6 years, and then the NCAA for
And now he
9
works for
years.
the Iowa.
Yeah, but he had 2
University.
football players.
Yeah,
With him,
He had
yes.
Brandon Scherf and he had Johnny Mullings, the punter.
Yeah, that's right.
Australian.
Yep,
Yeah.
from Australia. And they came in to talk about asking for volunteers to help serve at the Hall of Fame building.
That's right.
Yeah. That was nice. We don't usually get to see the players at the quarterback club,
That's right.
but we got to see Brandon Scherf up close and personal, and Johnny Mullings.
And he's first team.
Scherf, oh yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Doing a good
He's a
job.
big guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah, thick.
Yeah, his head's real big.
Yeah, big head.
Yeah, it is.
Well, he's like 6'7", 310? I don't know.
Was he 6'7"?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
so.
6'6", 6'7", I think.
But they're number one. There's no question why.
Who?
West High.
Well, Cedar Falls might argue that point, and Ankeny might
I'll
argue that
argue
point.
with Cedar
But
Falls.
Cedar Falls, they're not.
No, and they've lost.
Well, they got.
Cedar Falls, no.
No, they're undefeated.
No.
Are they?
Ankeny's
They beat
undefeated.
City High the first game of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, they got way behind Prairie.
Okay, maybe that's the
Prairie
one
had
I'm
them about
thinking
21 to
about.
nothing.
Is that right?
Some team they are not beaten. I just figured they did beat. I
No.
bet it
No,
was.
they're undefeated.
No, they won. I think 42 to 30 something.
Well,
Yeah.
Dubuque Hempstead has not won a game all year, and I think
No.
it's been a long time since they won a game. So West High went up there to Dubuque and did what they're supposed to do. Now they get to host City High Friday night, Battle of the Boot
Yep, at West.
at West High. Should be a big game.
I think West will
You
be.
too?
Oh, I do too.
Well, I do too, but City High's got to be pretty upset. I mean, when was the last time that they were held scoreless?
At home.
21-0. I mean, I don't remember. I don't know what the stats are on that.
I
you
looked
know?
for it. I couldn't find it. I
Well,
knew
yeah.
it was a rarity.
And they're 4-2, and probably pretty angry.
They dropped out of the top 10. They were at
Yeah.
number 8 or 9. Dubuque Senior is who beat them at
That's
home.
right.
They're pretty
And
good.
Dubuque's 5-1.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to know who beat them. Was it
West.
Cedar Falls?
West.
No, West the week before.
Yeah, West beat them.
Oh,
West.
I knew this.
Yeah.
Yeah, beat them
And beat them well.
pretty handily.
Yeah.
In Iowa City.
Yes,
Yeah. Or no.
I think so.
Yes, it was. It
So
was
Dubuque Senior had to come to Iowa City 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
That's a long bus ride.
But irregardless, they beat them wherever they played them. I'm not
But
sure.
they
but-
drive pretty good buses. They don't do school buses.
Is that right? That's good.
I was
Well,
over there. Regina game was so bad, I thought I'd slip down and watch.
we've seen the Battle of the Boot happen and the winner not be the team that was supposed to win.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or favored,
Almost
so-
every year.
You know, when you put West High and City High in the field, no matter what the records are, it'll probably be a
Well,
pretty good
safe
game.
to say West High should win the game.
They should.
Hosting at home.
They got big receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
And City High's had key injuries,
Yeah.
and they've had just a slew
well, West Side
of
is
turnovers.
sick. They got 3 teams over there that could play against anyone.
Yeah.
Well, their first team quarterback for City High got hurt, the
Yeah.
Wheeland boy.
Yeah.
Wheeland is
Yeah.
his name, and
He played defense though, didn't he?
did he play the other
Yeah.
night? Okay, and there's a Steika playing
Yeah.
quarterback, and
Well,
they've had their injuries this
And they
year.
lost the best quarterback there was last year in
He's the one that went to Dan McCarney down
Yeah.
at North Texas
North
State.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, City High's got a chance to right a whole lot of wrongs.
Yep.
How's McCarty doing?
You
I haven't
know,
heard.
You know, I'm thinking
They won
before
one
last weekend. I'm thinking they were 1-3.
They had a real
that
tough
sounds right.
Yeah.
But they
pre-conference
really had-
schedule.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they had one of those schools down.
Who was it? Yeah, I want to say
Guess more than
Alabama.
Iowa.
or-
Yeah, some good school they had was up
Yeah.
on the board.
They've had a murderer's row
Yeah.
of pre-conference games, and I thought they acquitted themselves real well in 2 of those games. And it's something else I wanted to look up last night. Just didn't have the time. So that's
About
the way it goes.
Northwestern.
Boy.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Now let's
I
see.
really think they're a dark horse. I really
Yeah.
do. The way they score points.
Now who do they play this week? Is it Purdue? Is it Indiana?
No,
Penn State.
Indiana last.
Is it Penn State?
Penn State,
I
Murph.
think it is.
Yeah, they play at Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked Penn State to win that one.
I picked Northwestern.
Did you?
I want them to win till we get to Chicago.
That would be kind of sweet.
Well,
No, I don't want them to win anything.
Good point.
Yeah.
I want our league to lose all their games.
Yes, same here. Same here. Same here. I'm a poor sport.
Yeah, that's right.
I hold grudges.
They've had our number for a while. We need to get them this
Sister
year.
Agnes, forgive me. Old grudges.
The one that I don't like is Wisconsin.
Don't like any of them anymore.
No, but I mean, having a rough go of it.
They are. And you know who else? Michigan State.
Boy,
Yeah.
They're struggling.
yeah, but how they getting beat? They got beat by 1 point,
Huh?
17-16.
We want them to struggle one more time.
One more time. Well, two more times because they've got who do they play this week? Ohio State?
No, Ohio State beat them last.
They played Michigan?
No, Purdue plays at Michigan, I believe.
Okay.
Purdue could beat Michigan.
Yes, they could.
It's I don't know who.
I think Purdue's going to be the dark horse in the league.
And the
I
other
do
side.
too.
I
On
do
the other
too.
side, yeah.
I agree.
I do too.
And Northwestern's done well, in spite of my dislike for them.
But see, Purdue, Michigan State only lost by a point. They should have won that one over Ohio
That's the
State.
key. They should have won.
Yeah, I know.
And they didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
They had the chance to beat Ohio State. They missed a field goal.
Right.
Jamal, how we doing?
But it's a funny Big Ten season.
It certainly
It is.
is, and it's a weaker Big Ten than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for a lot of teams, but
Didn't it?
we don't care about the other teams. It's a
worst
great
team-
opportunity for the
The
Hawkeyes.
worst team I've seen is Indiana.
I haven't seen them at all. We will soon
I
enough.
don't even think they won. They got beat by Ball State the first game.
Yeah.
I don't think they.
But they
won a
gave
game.
somebody a good
Did
game
they?
last weekend. Who did they play last week? It was somebody good.
Purdue, I think.
No.
I don't remember who.
The
it was.
old Oak and Bucket, they don't play that till the end of the year.
Yeah.
They played
Well,
somebody,
we
and they
never
played them
used-
close.
We never used to play the pig until the end of the year.
Yeah.
But
That's okay. You'll be glad.
Get him.
Did you get that fly?
Right there he is dead.
Awesome.
Right on the end of my chair.
That's the end of your
No
summer,
more
buddy.
Mr. Fly. Hey, what about Regina? Number one,
Yep.
undefeated, top ranked,
34 in a row.
34 wins in a row. We were Bud and I were at the Alburnett game last Friday, and I guess Alburnett, they're not a bad team.
oh, they were in the playoffs last
They didn't have big numbers on the sidelines, but the kids they had out there were competitors. And Regina ended up winning the game, 54-20. They had a continuous clock to start. What's 41-6, I think.
halftime. Yeah.
But to their credit, Alburnett didn't back off, and they came out and scored a couple times in the second half, and they stopped that continuous clock.
And Regina got to play a lot of kids as a
Yeah.
result.
all of them, and they dress.
Big advantage.
The difference between the schools, you think that Regina's got a lot, but when there's only one game, they dress everybody.
Yeah. Well, Regina's got a big game,
This
last
is the
big
biggest.
game of the season, the regular season.
Right.
Wilton comes to town. Ivan won, and they're undefeated in the district that Regina plays,
And
in
that's
District
Peterson's
6.
son.
And that's right. That is the West Branch head coach's son, who defeated his dad
Right.
earlier in the season, beat West Branch handily.
They haven't talked to each other since.
The Petersons put too much stress on the winning.
Bud, do you know, is there a JV game before?
No.
Okay, so 7 o'clock, the kickoff, and
Will happen.
At Regina.
Well, now they thought it was going to last week, and on Thursday that school called and said we're going to bring a.
we got there, and we had to wait 45 minutes for the
I
game
know.
to start.
I know it.
Well.
Why didn't it start?
The junior, they said they didn't have enough to play a junior varsity game or a freshman sophomore game.
And then they did.
And then they called on Thursday and said, oh, we decided we have enough now. I don't know if some more kids come out or what. Tomorrow night will be
No.
I'm glad that game's at home.
Friday night.
Friday night.
Yep. Friday night at Regina, 7 o'clock.
It's
Wilton,
homecoming, right?
the Beavers, the mighty
And
Beavers.
as far as I'm concerned, last year, it didn't turn out good, but Wilton gave them 3/4 of a good game.
Yep. This will be a
In there.
real test.
Yes.
Be a test, you bet.
This will be a test. I'm going. It's homecoming at Regina.
Yep.
Any of you guys going? Earl?
I think I might.
No,
You're an alum.
I am an alum. My wife has other plans for me. We're going somewhere else, is what I've been told. So,
I'd love to go
Where
to
are
the
you
Battle of the
going,
Boot.
Bob?
pardon?
Where are you going?
We're going to a Hampshire function.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, high
I
society.
mean, I realize there's no Hampshire, but they
A high
do have
society.
functions. Oh yeah, I sure am. Yeah.
Keep your pinky
This
up.
is I just
Don't
The
forget
pinky
to
up.
wear your boots.
Kinda-
Stay out of that water.
I'm told,
It's going to be nice not to have to. I hate to say this, but nice not to have to chase a Hawkeye football game after 4 straight home games.
I agree.
I am not going to feel like I have to rush home from the high school game on Friday night to get my sleep, to get up early, to go over there again.
Especially an 11 o'clock game. I hate those.
Do you realize high school football is only...
It's almost over.
Counting tomorrow, only 3 games.
Yeah. After this weekend, there will only be 2 more games.
See, they
Then the
started
playoffs,
a week
yeah.
earlier because of playoffs.
Yep. So
Goes in a hurry.
It really does. And
Yeah.
if you haven't been out to see the Regina Regals play football, you don't know what you're missing. If you're a high school football fan, check it out. This is going to be a really good game to attend. The weather looks to be a little dicey, but
Isn't
we'll
that,
see.
didn't they spend some money and renovate that whole?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
They have brand new and a lot more of them, and the field has been refurbished.
They did
And-
that before last fall, Murph.
That's right. And the concession stands are better. They've even got ice cream soft serve cones out there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Kevin O'Brien from McDonald's donated one of his old ice cream machines.
Oh, good.
But
yeah.
problem is nobody knows how to operate the thing. They're making these little tiny cones for $3, or they'll make a great big tall one that leans over and falls off the cone as soon as they hand it over to you. So there's a little skill involved in
Pretty
those.
quickly then, huh?
Yeah. And it's not going to be ice cream cone season much longer.
You won't
Yeah.
chip tomorrow.
That's right.
Friday night.
Or Friday night. It's supposed to be cold enough.
Yeah.
Supposed to be 55 or something.
Well, we'll put up with it.
Yeah.
And
But here we go again. Iowa City, 3 of the top schools in
Yeah,
the whole state.
again.
Yeah.
again, even City High with 2 losses.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, they're still top, 13, 15, right in there somewhere.
Well, I don't know that the state thing above 10.
Oh,
If you're
okay.
not in the top 10, they don't show any rankings that I could
Okay.
find last night. And
But 2 of the 3 are.
oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
even
yeah.
City High.
Well, that's
they'll come
City
back.
High wins, they'll be back up there.
Solon's still up there in the top 10.
Yeah, they haven't lost since Virginia.
Yeah.
But it's
Every
Regina
year.
pounded, and Regina pounded them, didn't they?
I was surprised Wilton isn't ranked at 5-1. They've gone unnoticed. They beat ranked West Branch.
The biggest thing I think why is the team they got beat to hadn't won a ball game.
Yeah.
But they are winning this year. But they got beat by Tipton.
Yeah, that was like their first or second game,
First
wasn't
game.
it?
Yeah,
First game? Okay.
that's not a good tip there either.
No. So I mean, I think that's how they go.
Yeah.
Well, first
Where
game,
you
stumble
play.
out of the block and then make
That's
right the
right.
rest of the way.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wrap it up here. Jamal, we want to thank Jamal from Public Access TV for doing the show for us today, behind the cameras, behind the lights, out doing something much more important than sports opinion. So we hope to have him back next week, and we hope that you join us next week. We're on TV every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Channel 18. And if you miss Wednesday night, you can see the replay on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. And then if that's not good enough, you can always go to patv.tv. Yes, that is the website, patv.tv. And you can watch the show there on the website, or you can go to my Facebook page, and I've got 2. So I want to say thanks to everybody for watching. Appreciate Bud and Bob and Earl being here. On behalf of all of them, I'm Dirk Keller, thanking you for watching Sports Opinion. And remember this, either you're a Hawk or you're not. Go Hawks.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks for watching. All right, we did
Okay.
that. We pulled it up.